Well, Adam, unfortunately, this game virtually hinged on one incident, didn't it? Really, a very sloppy goal to give away.
Yeah, it did. And it's just it's a terrible goal to give away. It's hard enough, at this level when you're giving goals away like that. It doesn't help your cause. And the lads obviously know that you can't let the ball bounce, but it's just killed us really, because I think they're fifth and they're in that pack of 5 teams at the top within 5 points of one another. Half for me, we were the better team. We had 3 chances there in the first half where we've got to score, and I think the only other real effort they had of note in the first half was where we made another mistake and Jonah made a great save down to his right. It's a big save. Second half felt we had quite a lot of control really. We had one cleared off the line towards the end. Didn't really create anything of note ourselves in that second half, and sometimes you've got to give the opposition a little bit of credit because they defended well and they managed the referee incredibly well, which Spennymoor generally do, and the referee's got to be stronger in terms of time management, because for me the goalkeeper took forever and a day all game from the minute they scored, and not at one point did he go and speak to him. He just stood on the halfway line. He said to me after the game that he felt Jonah was taking just as long as their goalkeeper, which is absolutely delusional considering we're losing the game. That was frustration, because you want the game to keep moving and get going, but I think it's cruel on us to lose that game today. But if you make mistakes, you can't see goals, and we'd have been frustrated with a 0-0 draw. So to lose it is a real blow. But outside of probably that sloppiness for the goal, and maybe 5 minutes after that, I didn't think we were too bad. So just got to keep working.
Just on those chances in the first half that went begging, very frustrating. For Jack, you feel for guys in that situation at times.
Well, no, I don't, because he's 2 yards out. He's got to score. So and that applies to any player. To get that opportunity at this level of football, how big and organised teams are generally, you've got to score. So for us not to is, it's frustrating. But we had a big chance with Makarov, short corner. Got great contact on it, just gone the wrong side of the post. He'll be disappointed that he's not, converted that. And obviously then quick free kick with Ben Stevens and Kean's in, and goes through 1-on-1. Never really looked too comfortable. But you've got to kill teams in them moments, and that's 3 real clear openings that we've missed there. It's obviously frustrating.
And then it's a different game, isn't it? If you can go into the break level, it's totally different.
Yeah, but I said to the lads at half time, if we were level, we'd be kicking ourselves because we missed 3 big chances. But I wasn't really too dissatisfied with how we were playing. I felt probably the first 15 minutes we pressed the ball incredibly well. I felt we were on top of them, forced quite a lot of mistakes from the back line and the goalkeeper. But then we didn't come down when we had the ball. With the ball was still 100 miles an hour, and we didn't make the most of times where we turned it over because our next pass was maybe loose or the next decision wasn't right. But then it probably took us to go behind in the game to bring an aspect of composure to our playing. From there I felt we were the better team. We just obviously didn't manage to get the goals.
Plenty of pressing, plenty of chances second half, and you say that one at the end which bounced and then was cleared off the line. It's going to be one of those days.
Yeah, you sometimes feel that, when you've obviously been involved in football long enough, you sometimes sense it's going to be one of those days, and I think today certainly was. But what's important is that we can't be too down off one defeat. I still think it's a decent performance against a team that's going really well. We've got to just take the positives out of it and learn, and we've got to cut out these errors. We've still not had a clean sheet since I've been here, and that's really frustrating because I do feel like we are more organised. The goals we're conceding in the main, the soft goals, they're individual errors, and we've got to cut them out, because I think if you take those out of the games that we've had in the last few weeks, our points total would look a hell of a lot different. We'd probably be set up in the playoffs, which is crazy to think we were cut adrift a month ago. So that's why we've got to be, positive about the direction that we're going. Obviously, can't lose games like that today. If you can't win, get a 0-0 draw and move on.
So it's picking everybody up, isn't it? Obviously a big one against the obviously very highly fancied side.
Yeah, and they are a good side, and it's going to be a tough game. But you know, we've just said to the players there's nothing better than off the back of a defeat. If you've got them wait a week, it can be frustrating. There's nothing better than having a game, 2-3 days after, and they don't come any bigger than Scunthorpe. So it's a massive game where we'll be underdogs. They'll be massive favourites. With the obviously the resources that they've got this year and the expectation they've got on the squad that they've got at their disposal, they'll come into it as big favourites. But we've got to try and win the game. It's just a game of football, and we've got to try and win it.
Obviously, for Lynn fans, they'll have 3 guys who they know very well coming to Scunthorpe as well. So it's a bit of an extra edge from that point of view.
Yeah, good players. I think they probably walk into any team at the level. So hopefully they'll come back and have a stinker, but we'll see.
So what do you do prep-wise now until that game?
Just the same as we always do. We don't treat any team differently to any other. Players have got to recover properly tonight, tomorrow, Monday, be a bit of additional recovery and prep for the game Tuesday. But we respect and do our homework and prep the same for whoever's bottom of the league to whoever's top. You've got to respect every opponent in this league. So for us, everybody will make a thing that it's Scunthorpe, and obviously they're a big club at the level, and there's a few ex-players and what have you returning. But for me, it's just another game, and we'll prep as normal for it, and we've got to try and get a win.
And once again, it's getting the crowd here, isn't it, to be that 12th man?
Yeah, and I thought the crowd were great again today. They're sticking with us. I think that's because they see the improvement in the team, and they see a team that's fully committed and giving them everything. I think the first game we were here, there was a similar number to what there were today, in the 800s. I think the second game was about 6,500 or something like that, and we obviously need that to get up. So the fact that there's closer to 900 here again today is a sign that we're going in the right direction. And of course there'll be a lot more here on Tuesday, because they'll bring quite a few, so it'll be a good atmosphere, and we'll be ready to go again.
It's a frustration, call it frustration, I don't know if that's true, today, compounded by the fact that you look at that table this morning, there was 4 points between you and the playoffs, which is quite incredible. It's a weird table. It
is, but a few weeks ago we were miles off points wise. So to go into today only 4 points shows how far we've come in a short space of time. But you can't get too down, and you can't look too far ahead in football. You've just got to concentrate on the next game, which I know is boring, but that's just the way it is. The table's incredibly tight. Everybody can beat everybody else. We've played a side there that I know they had a bad result on Tuesday, but they're a side who they're generally there or thereabouts. They've got 2 really good strikers, probably arguably the best in the league in Glenn Taylor, and I felt we were better than them, to be honest. I know they've got a few missing, but so have we. We've got some real quality players missing who probably in games like today they may make a difference for us. So yeah, it's obviously frustrating, because you want to try and keep clawing the teams above your back and keep moving up the table, but we just got to focus on performances, and if we do that, then the results will come.
It's a big month as well, this, isn't it? It doesn't come any easy now. Scunthorpe, Tamworth, Scarborough. We've got a trip to Scarborough as well in there.
Yeah.
So it's what you expect, I guess, but
yeah, big games. Well, that's why we're involved in football. We want big games. Equally, all them teams, despite where we are, I imagine they'll be saying we've got a tough game because we've got Kings Lynn. Because I'd like to think anybody who's watched us in recent weeks sees that we're a team that is on the up and is improving. Of course, we're going to still lose games of football. Just because we're getting better don't mean we're going to win every game, because that's just not how this league works. But we are getting better, and we are making it difficult for teams. We're getting harder to play against. We're getting more competitive. We're getting fitter. And I think the mentality is growing. So we've just got to be ready for each and every game, and I'm sure we will be.
Joshua, he came off early.
Yeah, he rolled his ankle in the warm-up on the pitch, which is so frustrating. Felt he could, run it off and it'd ease, but it just didn't. He wasn't able to kind of get enough power through it to get off the ground. So that's just one of them things that's just gone against us. But it is what it is. You've got to move on. I thought Manny came on and did very well. I thought Adam today was excellent. Real composure to his game. So yeah, we'll have to see how it settles down, and hopefully we'll be able to get him back out there on Tuesday.
There were a few up there, as you mentioned, absent players. Are they far away?
No, they're getting closer. And the good players, to come back, and that will only make us stronger. There'll be additional competition for places, which is needed, I think, in any football team. And it'll also just give us a little bit more to go out off the bench, because games like that there, we maybe are looking around thinking, what can we really do here to change it? And at the minute, we've probably not got as much off the bench as I would like, and that's frustrating. But it is what it is. We're not ones for making excuses. You just got to get on with it.
Are you still looking?
Always looking, always looking. But yeah, until I think what we have got is we've got, when we get the lads that are out back, we've got decent depth now, and we'll have decent quality. But I think you're always looking as a manager to see how you can improve. So yeah, always looking.
When you're missing people like Josh Barrett, Jordan Ponticelli, there's goals in there, and today is actually the first time this season you haven't scored at home in the league. So they're going to make a big difference, aren't they, when they come back? Yeah,
they should do. They should make a difference in most teams, because they're both good players. So, but I think the lads who've been playing have been doing well. Because we've been in decent form until we've obviously lost today. But it wasn't a bad performance. Just obviously not the result that we wanted. So the lads that have been on the pitch have been doing really well. But I think it's fair to say the likes of JB, Punch, they have a little bit more experience, and certainly JB has that little bit of magic. That in games like today, he maybe just picks it up and smacks one in the top corner from 30 yards, and every team would want a Josh Barrett in there. So we know we'll be better when they come back, and hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later.
How do you stop Scunthorpe? Have you looked at them at all? Have you watched them?
We were my Curzon team were the first team to beat them this season, so they can be beaten, and the lads will be told and reminded of that. Of course, I'd had that group for 2 years, and we were a lot further on as a group than obviously where we are now, just in terms of the lads knowing what I expect and organisation, etc. But we've come a long way in a short space of time, and it's just a game of football. You can't be afraid. If you're afraid, you're no good for me, because you're just not. You've got to be strong. I don't care what the name on the people's chest is. It's a game of football. It's 11v11 on a grass rectangle, 3 points. Got to try and win it. So we'll respect them, but only as much as we do every other team. We can't show the better teams too much respect. We've got to be ready to go toe to toe with them, and I think it's fair to say they are, big favourites going into it. They're a very good team, very, very good team. They've got great individual players. But anything can happen in a game of football, and we've got to remember that we've got some very good players as well. So, we'll do everything properly between now and then, and be ready to go and put a big performance in on Tuesday.